60. The Seven Seals, or the Yea and Amen Lay.
We have come to the closing chapter of Part 3, the closing chapter of the book. But it is not the end of our journey, since the book contains a fourth part, a later addition. The first 3 parts were written as one creation between the years 1882 and 84, and published in 1887 as the original edition. The fourth part was written as a supplement in 1885, and published only in 1892. We will analyze the fourth part, of course, but I intend to take a break from uploading, because I want to honor the original ending. This is the most triumphal ending of any book I ever read, so, for a while, it will be the end of this project. The chapter is titled The Seven Seals. This is, of course, a biblical reference, taken from the Book of Revelation. I don't think it has anything to do with the Bible, beyond using this familiar term. The seven seals, here, are the 7 verses of the song that Zarathustra sings to seal his successful and triumphant journey. The subtitled, The Yea and Amen Lay, is a reference to an earlier chapter in the book, Before Sunrise, in which Zarathustra talked about the moment of purity achieved right after self-surpassing, in which one says yea and amen about everything in the world. We have witnessed him achieving this moment. Now he is going to put his seal on it, and say yea and amen.
1. If I be a diviner and full of the divining spirit which wandereth on high mountain ridges twixt 2 seas, wandereth twixt the past and the future as a heavy cloud, hostile to sultry plains, and to all that is weary and can neither die nor live. Ready for lightning in its dark bosom, and for the redeeming flash of light, charged with lightnings which say yea, which laugh yea, ready for divining flashes of lightning.
This was written about a quarter of a century before Rudyard Kipling published his famous poem If, so there's no Kipling influence here. But there are similarities. Every verse of this song begins with the word if, as Zarathustra recounts what he has achieved, and what it means. Here he talks about his ability to rise above the chaotic sea of becoming, and use its power to travel the mountaintops of the spirit. He also draws power from the past and the future, to make the most of the present.
Blessed, however, is he who is thus charged, and verily long must he hang like a heavy tempest on the mountain, who shall one day kindle the light of the future. Oh, how could I not be ardent for eternity and for the marriage ring of rings, the ring of the return? Never yet have I found the woman by whom I should like to have children, unless it be this woman whom I love, for I love thee, O eternity. For I love thee, O eternity.
If he is indeed this way, says Zarathustra, then he is blessed, because the powers he accumulated make him a force that will lead humanity to a better future. Then he launches into the chorus, in which he celebrates his unity with eternity. He has definitely come a long way since saying that all that is imperishable is but a simile. He used to reject the idea that there is anything eternal. But then he realized that while there isn't anything within reality that does not perish, reality itself is eternal, since it returns again and again, in the exact same way. He then finds a way to say yes about the entire ring of eternal return, and with that, he weds himself to eternity, feels love to everything that is, everything that was, and everything that will be.
2. If ever my wrath hath burst graves, shifted landmarks, or rolled old shattered tables into precipitous depths, if ever my scorn hath scattered mouldered words to the winds, and if I have come like a besom to cross spiders, and as a cleansing wind to old charnel houses, if ever I have sat rejoicing where old gods lie buried, world-blessing, world-loving, beside the monuments of old world-maligners.
Using some of the metaphors we already met, he now celebrates his ability to destroy all the ideas that have lost their meaning, and replace them with new, vital ideas.
For even churches and gods' graves do I love, If only heaven looketh through their ruined roofs with pure eyes, gladly do I sit like grass and red poppies on ruined churches. Oh, how could I not be ardent for eternity, and for the marriage ring of rings, the ring of the return? Never yet have I found the woman by whom I should like to have children, unless it be this woman whom I love, for I love thee, O eternity. For I love thee, O eternity.
We already detect the form of the song. The first 3 lines of every verse begin with if, and then describe something that he is. Basically, they say, if I am this. The 4th line then explains why he is blessed to be this way. And then comes the chorus that says that it is one of the things that make him unite with eternity, and there is nothing better than this unity. Here, he says that because he is such an iconoclast, it makes him love even the old and dead ways of thinking, because he can see in them the forces that can be used to transform them, and bring them back to life.
3. If ever a breath hath come to me of the creative breath, and of the heavenly necessity which compelleth even chances to dance star dances, if ever I have laughed with the laughter of the creative lightning, to which the long thunder of the deed followeth grumblingly but obediently, if ever I have played dice with the gods at the divine table of the earth, so that the earth quaked and ruptured and snorted forth fire streams.
Here he talks about his ability to navigate within the chaos of existence, and be a creative agent that molds the chaos into new powerful gravitational forces that can make even the stars dance around them. In other words, into new worldviews that rearrange reality for our consciousness.
For a divine table is the earth, and trembling with new creative dictums and dice casts of the gods. Oh, how could I not be ardent for eternity, and for the marriage ring of rings, the ring of the return? Never yet have I found the woman by whom I should like to have children, unless it be this woman whom I love, for I love thee, O eternity. For I love thee, O eternity.
It is the right way to live, the most powerful and joyful way, because the earth is like a table over which divine forces are playing games of chance. Become part of this game, and your eternity will be heavenly.
4. If ever I have drunk a full draught of the foaming spice and confection bowl in which all things are well mixed, if ever my hand hath mingled the furthest with the nearest, fire with spirit, joy with sorrow, and the harshest with the kindest, if I myself am a grain of the saving salt which maketh everything in the confection bowl mix well.
Everything on earth is held together, and they are all part of what life is. If you divide them into good and bad, and distance yourself from the bad, you are doing it wrong. You should be the ingredient that makes it all mix together in the most delicious way.
For there is a salt which untieth good with evil, and even the evilest is worthy, as spicing and as final over-foaming. Oh, how could I not be ardent for eternity, and for the marriage ring of rings, the ring of the return? Never yet have I found the woman by whom I should like to have children, unless it be this woman whom I love, for I love thee, O eternity. For I love thee, O eternity.
Yes, there is a way to mix the so-called good and the so-called bad together, to create a delicious stew. Find that way, and your earthly life will become an endless source of joy, for you and others. Your eternity, as a result, will become bliss.
5. If I be fond of the sea, and all that is sea-like, and fondest of it when it angrily contradicteth me, if the exploring delight be in me, which impelleth sails to the undiscovered, if the seafarer's delight be in my delight, if ever my rejoicing hath called out, the shore hath vanished, now hath fallen from me the last chain.
The sea is the chaos that is within you and around you. Most people fear this chaos, and prefer firm ground under their feet. They close themselves in bordered lands, and ignore the chaos outside of these borders. But he prefers to go into the sea, where there are no rules or boundaries, to find new dragons to slay, new powers he can overcome and internalize. Whenever he finds himself at sea, he feels free and full of excitement.
The boundless roareth around me, far away sparkle for me space and time. Well, cheer up, old heart. Oh, how could I not be ardent for eternity and for the marriage ring of rings, the ring of the return? Never yet have I found the woman by whom I should like to have children, unless it be this woman whom I love, for I love thee, O eternity. For I love thee, O eternity.
If you live this way, your eternity will be full of excitement and thrills, forever and ever.
6. If my virtue be a dancer's virtue, and if I have often sprung with both feet into golden emerald rapture, if my wickedness be a laughing wickedness, at home among rosebanks and hedges of lilies, for in laughter is all evil present, but it is sanctified and absolved by its own bliss.
Laughter and dancing are the two weapons by which he defeats anything that is heavy and pulls humanity down, and transforms it into something uplifting. By laughter he means comedy that celebrates the joyful sides of earthly life, as well as satire and parody that wickedly mock anything that is against earthly life. By dancing he means vigorous bodily activity done for its own sake, as well as spiritual activity that does not get bogged down in lengthy philosophizing, but jumps around from one insight to the next.
And if it be my Alpha and Omega that everything heavy shall become light, every body a dancer, and every spirit a bird, and verily that is my Alpha and Omega. Oh, how could I not be ardent for eternity and for the marriage ring of rings, the ring of the return? Never yet have I found the woman by whom I should like to have children, unless it be this woman whom I love, for I love thee, O eternity. For I love thee, O eternity.
With these weapons, he makes everything light, transforming the people and the reality around him into one big cosmic dance, which will ensure an eternity of merriment.
7. If ever I have spread out a tranquil heaven above me, and have flown into mine own heaven with my own pinions, if I have swum playfully in profound luminous distances, and if my freedom's avian wisdom hath come to me, thus, however, speaketh avian wisdom, Lo, there is no above and no below. Throw thyself about, outward, backward, thou light one, sing, speak no more.
The final verse is about how, after creating those models of happiness, he elevated himself to their level and found himself flying in heavenly realms. When you're in that state, you just have to let yourself be consumed by the experience. He is in that state now, so he lets go. Words are very unnecessary. There is nothing more to be said. Just join the chorus and rejoice in your earthly eternity.
Are not all words made for the heavy? Do not all words lie to the light ones? Sing, speak no more. Oh, how could I not be ardent for eternity, and for the marriage ring of rings, the ring of the return? Never yet have I found the woman by whom I should like to have children, unless it be this woman whom I love, for I love thee, O eternity. For I love thee, O eternity.
Signed, sealed, and delivered.